actually do that? I think that's a very interesting point that you brought in, is that when the door closes very often, right? And it's a door that a lot of us bang, social pressure, the world sort of tends to decide what is the right thing, and we all chase it. And then suddenly we're banging on a door which is not meant to open for us. And I think the maximum learning takes place. I've seen that, when one takes a good hard look. What has been your experience of, in situations like this, if you've ever faced?
This is the toughest kind, right? When you realize that a door is closed, right? And you're still banging on the door, right? Again, this was a little bit of what I thought I was doing between my two jobs, right? As I said, I had a portfolio career and I really was trying 50,000 things, right? But then I later realized that what I was doing was actually an interlude, right? And it was not what I was meant to do, right? And at which point of time, I think the only guidance I have is that if you can just have an open mind to an opportunity which presents itself, right, while you're banging a door, and you look at the opportunity dispassionately, I think you will yourself tide over it. And again, for me, in all of my career, I've never accepted, and I've only done two jobs, right? But in both cases, right, I think the job had to be offered to me 2-3 times before I took it, right? So because I was too stubborn to see that it was the right thing for me, right? It happened with McKinsey when I left my undergrad school, IIT. I had an offer, but I didn't take it. I don't know what stupidity I did. But then again, at the end of IIMS, I again had the offer, and then I finally realized there's something going on, right? The same company seems to be showing up and giving me the offer. I think it's meant to be taken, right? So the biggest thing I have learned, and my biggest weakness, is not to look at opportunities enough, because you're too attached or vested on the same door or banging a door, right? So the fundamental thing is, and this again comes back to something I said, right? Do you have a fundamental opportunity constrained mindset or an opportunity rich mindset, right? If you believe what you're doing is the only job you can ever do, right? Or the promotion you get is the only way out, right? That's a completely opportunity constrained mindset, right? Whereas if you have the confidence in yourself, then listen, if tomorrow everything disappears, right? I just have to just look around and things will present to myself. So if you're in a fundamentally opportunity rich mindset, right, you should automatically have the ability to evaluate new opportunities which come your way. And those opportunities may come very differently, right? Some of the most interesting things which I have done have actually come very accidentally to me, right? And then I even didn't take myself too seriously doing it. And then when I did a lot of it, I found it very exciting, right? So for example, school friends business, right? Helping them scale the business. Again, started off with a casual conversation and then a couple of calls. And then I think I'm now spending like days a month on it, right? But again, being just open to an opportunity and not being too fussed about what that means for your career, what that means for title, what that means for compensation, I think is too trivial. I think as long as you're in an opportunity where you're learning, where you're improving, and you're fundamentally excited to take it, I think then that's what you should do. So that's the trick. I think just keep your eyes open and have the peripheral vision on, right? I think the biggest mistake I have made is that I have not had it on for most of my life, right? And it's only when I did this interlude that I realized that actually there are a lot of interesting things in the world. And you just don't have to be wedded to what you're doing, because if a door closes, 5 other doors open.